Christy, Rob, I don't know if Rob's has the time right now to listen to these, but Christy, since you and I have tried to go back and forth a little bit, and you don't have the context that I needed to provide, and I apologize again for that. So I'm going to do a do-over because I was wanting to make sure you understood that it's 5:30 here in the morning, and this is about the only time of day I have time to do any kind of at my desk work because I teach at U of L in the education department, and this is the week I go observe my student teachers. So I am gone, either working with them or grading and evaluating, and just it's impossible for me to book any kind of appointments because as soon as I do, I'll end up canceling them because the observation went longer or a student had a crisis. I mean, it's just the end of a semester, and since you were a college student yourself, I'm sure you can relate to that part. So I'm not trying to be difficult about getting together in this way. It's just that it's bad timing. The part two of the bad timing that I want to make sure I make clear is that the cultural pass or passport that was created by the Kentucky Fund for the Arts was designed to make sure that children and families who did not have access to spaces like museums, art exhibits like we're going to do, that sort of thing, during the summer in particular, would have access. And so you have to apply, though, to be a site that they put on the cultural passport. So it's a long process. You have to defend that it's good for the children to be able to do it and how it will contribute to, them having a better school year and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I did that part. I went through the process and we were accepted, which is actually a really big deal. I did talk with Rob about this when he was here, and I did email him a couple of times about it. And when I emailed him the last time about it, I let him know that we were accepted, which was really good news, and that we would be having a booth on June 3rd where everybody that's on the pass for the families, it'll be like us, the Ali Center, the Speed Art Museum, places like that. We'll each have a booth so the families can go around and figure out, the ones they're interested in doing. And they don't have to sign up or anything. They just can kind of make their plans for the summer. It's a really fun event. And at that booth, I would like to have some cards to give away and print a poster that I can hang up that tells about, where the location will be on the JCTC campus and so forth. So in addition to that location, the Louisville Free Public Library downtown branch wanted to partner with us and have some of the prints in their gallery and then some of them in our library. We're about a block away from each other, so it would make perfect sense. And this would get the kids into the library. I'm going to have a thing where they go look for books in the library about the topic because our college library really doesn't have family-friendly Americans Who Tell the Truth books, but the library will. So with regard to where these would be exhibited, I think we can revisit the question of us being able to use the things we've purchased in an event like this. But for now, I'm going to assume that we purchased the prints and are entitled to allow them to be exhibited at the public library. No one's earning any money or no one's paying an entrance fee to see them. like they were at the Fraser, where I did say, you should talk to KristieG about paying for these JPEGs if you want to print them, because obviously they will be earning income from that. So that made sense to me. So I thought, well, maybe if I share this information with you as a context. The last part of the context is that we received notification we were accepted and then didn't hear anything for a while. And then all of a sudden on Wednesday, I got a notice that the Fund for the Arts would be sending us a contract to sign, and we would have to agree that we were going to provide all the things we said we were, which was the booth with the promotional cards to give away, and an activity that would take place when they visit the prints in our library. So they gave us till Monday, May 1st to sign this if we want to keep our spot, which is a ridiculous turnaround time and very problematic for me at this point because I'm so busy. However, I don't want to give up on it until I know I've exhausted all possibilities. So I basically need a quick answer from you all, unfortunately, because I can't sign the vendor agreement unless I know I can honor the contract. I thought that Rob had said, make a choice between me sending you stuff I have, or you, if you want to choose who you want for the events, and create something unique to the event, then tell me which JPEGs you need so that you can do that. And so I want to just be clear that that was what I was trying to address, was that I thought I was following up and saying I want to use these JPEGs, and I wanted to tell you what I'm using them for. And you can see in this document on the screen recording that basically my activity for this library event is going to be using those particular JPEGs to create a discussion set for families. They're going to have on the back questions that you can use to talk about with your children about this truth teller, and they're all connected to things that affect families in particular. And I actually forgot to put 2 people on that list that I wanted to use because of the gun violence issues, of course, that are everywhere, but in particular Louisville has a whole project they're doing around this, and so I want families to have the truth teller from the Moms Demand Gun Sense. So I'm hoping that context helps you make sense of it. So this Kentucky Fund for the Arts passport involves children and families going to sites to see various things. In our case, it would be an exhibit on our JCTC campus library, and then about a block away is the downtown public library where they would see more, and have an activity where they go check out books from the library about the truth tellers. And all of that will be connected to these cards that they will either get at the booth on June 3rd to get them started, or at the exhibit sites at the downtown public library and the JCTC library, so that the families can go home and talk about those. And there will also be information about the Muhammad Ali Challenge. So the Muhammad Ali Challenge, which I've gotten permission to do from the Ali's and the Ali Center as of yesterday. So they will support us doing the Muhammad Ali Challenge. And I'm modeling that after the Samantha Smith Challenge, which used to be something I did in my classroom when Americans Who Tell the Truth first started. So basically, I'm just recreating that process. So if you know the Samantha Smith Challenge, then you kind of know that I'm modeling it after something similar. But just calling it the Muhammad Ali Challenge because it's in Louisville, and the cultural passport requires things to be very specific to our community. So the Ali Center's involvement is with just that. There won't be anything exhibited at the Ali Center. There won't be anything given away at the Ali Center with relationship to this. They just jumped on board and immediately gave me a fast yes. We will be happy to do this. You can use the name. You can call it the Muhammad Ali Challenge. We're really excited. And they said, whatever we can do to support what you're doing in the Cultural Pass this summer, we're there. And they are on the Cultural Pass. So I'm sure people will go to the Ali Center at no cost, and it'll be wonderful. And I'm thinking that will tie things together. However, I want to make it really clear. We're not exhibiting there. We're not giving anything away there. We're not doing anything there except involving kids in the Muhammad Ali Challenge, which no doubt they will associate with the center. And the center is willing to put their name with it, which is actually really great for us. I don't think we should turn our back on that. But if there's some issue with the Muhammad Ali Center, then I would appreciate knowing, because I'll just, I guess, cut that out. I'm not sure. So I hope that's helpful to you to have that context for this. I will purchase the things from the Americans Who Tell the Truth store as prizes for whoever is judged the quote winner by the educators here in the Ali Center, working with me to choose that person. So again, on number 5 at the booth, I would like to have these cards to give away, and I'll have some activities, like I said, related to that. So, just to tie it all together, they will see these prints at the JCTC, at the public library. I will not try to get the Ali Center to take a few, because that seems to be problematic, and it's not necessary. And we already know the Fraser's working with you. So I hope that clarifies things. I'm just going to go ahead and eliminate this part here about the Ali Center so that there's no issues around that. So that's the part 1. That's the part that I have to do the turnaround by Monday in order to sign this vendor agreement. I hope this helps make it clear and gives you the context for that. So the other event that I wrote about is this Race for Brianna. So I was writing this to Rob because I'm sure he was here. We went to the Norton Center where the Race for Brianna thing was held last year, and I sent him pictures, and I was thinking that context would be good, but I feel like I'm speaking to you now, Kristie, so I want to be respectful and provide you with the context that I didn't realize I needed to, so I apologize for that. So this Race for Brianna is the second annual. They're going to do this annually. It takes place at a space here in Louisville called the Norton Track. It's belongs to the Louisville Urban League, and Wagner High School students created this event last year to raise funds to donate to 3 organizations that they chose with Tamika Palmer, who is Breonna Taylor's mother. And they asked Americans Who Tell the Truth last year at JCTC to share the prints, the framed prints, which we did. They exhibited those at the event. It was wonderful. People really excited about Americans Who Tell the Truth, and I did an activity at the table with the participants. And basically people run or walk the track, and they get people to pledge a certain amount of money for every mile that they walk. And all that money that they raise goes to 3 organizations that Tamika Palmer, Breonna Taylor's mother, and the kids together decide they're going to give to. I think this year one of them is the ACLU. I can't remember the other 2. But all the money they raise for this is donated, and it's to support keeping Breonna Taylor's name alive in our community. What you may or may not know is the DOJ issued a very scathing report about Breonna Taylor's case. And so there are meetings happening all the time with the DOJ here in Louisville. In fact, there's one tonight talking about the implications of this report and what we're going to do about it. So this Race for Breonna this year is on June 17th, and it will heavily feature this whole DOJ report aspect, which is why I'm sure they've chosen the ACLU to donate to. So basically, this Race for Breonna is held on a track that's owned by the Urban League. Rob's been there, and there are tables set up for participants to visit. At the table last year, Rob gave me permission. I'll pull up another screen here. Rob gave me permission to print these cards that I sent you some copies of. So these were little pieces that were printed on cardstock by the college with the JPEG on it. And these were given away. Each participant could choose one as a giveaway, and they did an activity with me. I have photographs of all of that. I sent those. I don't know if anybody but Rob ever saw them, but I can send them again if you want to. So this year, they wanted to do a whole lot more with Americans Who Tell the Truth at this event. And given that there's so much confusion around all of this, I'm thinking I'm just going to try to reproduce what we did last year. And that is have these cards at the event. I know one of the cards was Frank Serpico because it involved the police. And so anyway, all I want for that event is permission. I actually have a lot of those left over from last year that I saved, so I won't need to print as many, but I just basically want to reproduce those pieces to have at the table. Last year I put Rob's books out on the table. I put some materials from JCTC out on the table and did an activity with participants when they came through, and people took cards. So that's all I need for that. And I'm hoping now that you know what it is, and that the JPEGs would only be used for these giveaway pieces that are supporting this Breonna Taylor event. So I'm hoping that's helpful to you. That one is not as time sensitive, of course, because it's not till June 17th. However, because Hans is having surgery on June 14th, I won't even be able to go to the event. So I'm going to need to get them everything that probably like Monday the 12th or something like that. And again, we are giving them permission to exhibit the prints. I really do want to understand if there is some issue around the college prints that we purchased. If the college cannot exhibit those anywhere but on college campuses, that was not made clear to me when I purchased them. So I apologize if I missed something. I do not think the administration of the college will do any more work with the project if that's the case, because the whole point of us doing this was based on the idea that we would have them on the campuses but also be able to share them in the community as a goodwill gesture. I really felt like no one's making any money from using Americans Who Tell the Truth pieces. If anything, it supports people saying, how can I get those? So I might be naive about that, and if so, I apologize. I don't know if the Ali Center was just a unique thing that you didn't want them to have the prints there for some reason. I was a little unclear about that. But I'm hoping this longer explanation for you, Christy, with some context, basically will allow you to say, here's what the JPEGs are going to do at the cultural passport spaces, and it's okay to use the JPEGs to produce those pieces. And it's okay to produce the cards again for the Race for Brianna, but I won't do anything extra like I was going to do a family set for that too, but I won't, just to keep it simple. So I'm hoping this simplifies things. Basically, just want to reproduce this event from last year. And then for this event, again, I'm going to have to know by, and unfortunately, May 1st. So if you have to say no, then I'll just cancel us being on the cultural passport, and we'll go from there. Okay. I hope this helps. I'm sorry about my schedule being like this. I'm sorry for the turnaround with the Fund for the Arts being so crazy. But this is kind of a last effort to provide some clarity and understanding. And phew, okay. Hope this helps.